In the previous video, I had removed the plasterboards, insulation, and polystyrene. I took everything to the dump and enlarged the opening all along. Making it 3 meters with a ceiling return would look ridiculous. At 1.5 meters, so 4.5 meters long, that's more than enough for a staircase at the opening. For now, it's only 62 wide because I'm keeping part of the floor that supports the garage door mechanism. I could replace the garage door with a bay window, but during renovations, it might get damaged. If needed, I can break the glass. So I'd rather damage it. My garage door will be removed and used for my outside workshop. It's just a garage door. I'll install the bay window last. Once everything is done, I cut the floor. My staircase opening will be 1.20 meters by 4.50 meters long. Then I cut through the tiles and sanded off the excess glue because in this area, I plan to redo all the tiling, the old tiles. Because it cracks under the rail, I cut along it. I could also cut and set the rail right on the small tile pieces. Drilling would have made it come off since it wasn't wide. A quick grinder cut fixed it. It's the same with brick. The map pots come off easily unless they're well glued, in which case they hold firmly. I didn't want to drill into the brick. So now that everything is ready, we can build the structure for the partition wall, and we're going to build this partition wall. To start, I set the laser on the floor at a distance from the wall. Depending on the thickness of the insulation, you can see the laser line. It projects onto the floor, onto the partition, and onto this small brick return, so the track is fixed against the brick, against the floor, and against this partition. Of course, if you have a ceiling, you put the track at the ceiling level. In my case, my attic is open. Right now, I don't have a ceiling. An oriented strand board beam will run the length, and later I'll install my track. You'll understand in a future episode how I'm going to manage to put in a track once the furring strips are installed. So we lose its 6 millimeter diameter, that's more than enough. We put the anchor in the hole and we're going to tap it on the head so it goes in, and then we screw it in. And then we continue. I'm using expansion anchors to screw my rail to the plasterboard because I know that the stud stops about here, so I can drill, put in the expansion anchor. But in your partition, if you don't know where the studs are, instead of drilling the diameter of the anchor, first drill with a drywall screw, make a pilot hole, and if you hit the stud, that's perfect. If your drywall screw misses the stud and just spins in air, well, you use an expansion anchor, so you drill the diameter of the anchor. Also, ensure there are no electrical wires or water pipes in your walls or floor. The tracks and furring channels are done. See, it's simple. Just drill, add anchors, screws every 60 centimeters, and it stays in place. So this furring channel will be used to install the supports. I'll show you a quick demo. Hop with one hand, that's all there is to it. As I mentioned, the supports are NEO's patented adjustable acoustical system for wall lining on metal framing. You can attach furring and track directly to the wall, but it will be difficult. The best way is to install a furring channel along the entire length, and then you clip your supports into the furring channel. If you make a mistake, just unclip and move it. Much simpler and easier. With its removable head, it has 3 options. My insulation is 180 and my model fits insulation from 140 to 220 thick. So you can still adjust it. I can push it in or pull it out. You adjust it according to your insulation. So I don't have a rail at the ceiling level since my opening is open all the way along. If you have a ceiling, of course the rail at the ceiling level has to be aligned with the rail on the floor. I'm making a beam from oriented strand board 4.5 meters long and 30 centimeters wide. I want to offset the staircase from the partition wall upstairs so the beam will meet the staircase. By making this beam, I could attach the track that was meant for the ceiling. I told you I don't have a ceiling anymore because a small 1.5 meter piece is useless. I'll attach the track under this oriented strand board beam and we'll use this insulation. It's Thermosoft Natura, 180 millimeters thick. It's a bio-based insulation made in France from bio-based and recycled plant fibers like cotton, flax and jute. So the Thermosoft Natura will insulate. Of course, a wall, that's what we're doing today. It could be a partition, a ceiling, or even an attic, so we can install it vertically. It stands on its own, look perfect. It doesn't move at all, very well behaved. The supports, we place them in the furring channels. If needed, we can cut the insulation with a utility knife and ideally with an insulation knife. And you'll see that it goes on really quickly and very easily. Now that all supports are in the furring channels, we can adjust this rod based on the insulation thickness. Mine is 180 mm, if yours is 220, well, you move it forward if it's less. We move this rod back and we're going to lock it like this, and now we can't move it forward or backward anymore. Okay, so I'm also going to place the head to lock the furring strips. Nothing complicated, we put it in there, give it a quarter turn and it's locked. So I can move my rod back with the head and then lock everything with the furring strip. I'll show a demo using a scrap furring strip. I can move the rod and head back and forth. Let's say we're in position. I place the furring strip on the head and snap it in with a quarter turn. So it's snapped in as well, and now I can't move it forward or backward anymore. The rod The panels, we stack them on top of each other. They stand upright on their own and with the supports that holds them in place as well. And for those who are wondering, Thermosoft Natura doesn't itch at all and generates very little dust. It's a material that's very soft and quite flexible. You can really compress it. That's what I did. I tapped on it to avoid having gaps between the panels. Just so you know, I intentionally put a first horizontal row and then 2 vertical rows because that gave me the least amount of waste. So consider and calculate this based on your panel size, insulation width and height. Now that that's done, we can place the battens against the supports and adjust alignment. And once the alignment is set, we install the waterproof membrane. So we've cut the battens, we can place them in the track on the mark we made at the support. I pull it out completely, I clip the batten onto it, I don't lock it, we have the top part to clip on. And above all, adjust the plumb, and once the plumb is set, I lock it and then all the battens are placed on the supports. We can take an aluminum straight edge, press it against the batten, and adjust the depth and of course the plumb. So I know I need to push it in a little bit here. We're not too bad. And here we're good. And once we're good, we check that there are no dips, that it's not warping, etc. Well, we lock the support. Now, I can remove the straight edge. See, I've locked the support. It doesn't move anymore. You can hit it. It won't sink any further. We do the same for the others. And I'm also going to check the supports I put at the top to make sure there's no bump, that it's not warping, etc. So that we're always perfectly level. Next, we'll install the vapor barrier for air tightness and moisture control. It's simple. We install using double-sided tape over the furring strips and rails. We cut the vapor barrier to size and press it firmly against the furring strips and rail. The drywall sheets will be placed against the vapor barrier, which will be sandwiched between the rails, furring strips, and drywall. The vapor barrier goes on the double-sided tape, and for the joint, I used Knopf adhesive, though it might not be the correct one. This RT Plus model is for insulation with an existing vapor barrier to integrate. The one I needed was the RT Max, but it wasn't available at Point P. I took what was available, which was the RT Plus. It sticks well, no problem there. It's a strong adhesive, but it's designed for insulation with a vapor barrier. Integrating all that is done, now we can install the drywall panels. For your information, I don't cut them for height since they're 2.60 meters. My frames go up to 2.70 meters. I'll cut the frames again depending on the on-screen display beam that I'll make in gold by the rat. I just have one cut on this side, so I get everything ready. We screw it in and it's done. You'll need supports, furring strips, vapor barrier insulation, drywall sheets, and drywall screws. It's quick and easy. What about the oriented strand board beam? Ideally, I wanted to install it before the partition wall. Attaching my track and then the furring strips like I did for the floor would have been easier, but I need to check the floor. It needs to be raised by at least a few centimeters, if not 6, and of course check the level. Because if I start installing the beam now and then realize, oh no, I should have raised it, I'm going to waste time. Drywall will cover the entire beam because I don't want the oriented strand board visible, as it wouldn't look good. Varnished, it might work, but I'll cover it with drywall. With this beam, I can build the gable partition wall on top. This will connect the staircase floor and water supply using the white multi-layer pipe. I'll cut and redo everything. I don't want any insulation joints around the bay window because I'll be removing the garage door for it. I'll also use this chance to screw the drywall onto the rail at brick level. Before, I could only attach a corner bracket. Why bother when I'll have full access after removing the garage door? So, this white multi-layer, it's a garden faucet water supply I routed through the crawl space. If you haven't seen this video, the link is in the description about this partition wall. I still need to install outlets, but I'll add them based on the staircase and available space. I'll run them between the insulation and vapor barrier. I made a video on the subject. If you haven't seen it, you also have the link in the description. I'll handle the taping, skim coating, and possibly painting before installing the staircase. Although the stairwell opening isn't finished, I still need to tear down the whole ceiling there to redo it, taping, joint compound, painting, but at least that part is done. With the staircase installed, it's impractical to squeeze between it, a partition, and a counter partition to apply joint compound and paint. All right, we'll meet again very soon for the installation of a partition that, as you'll see, isn't very big, but will change everything. Thank you so much for watching this video. Happy do-it-yourself, take care of yourself, and see you very soon.